You may find your many duties as a leader to be overwhelming at times, but that is why you have a team. Not everything needs to be done by you alone. Many new managers struggle with this transition because they believe they still need to complete each and every small task on their list. However, mastering the art of delegation is crucial if you want to be a successful leader. That is why in today's video, we'll talk about learning how to delegate tasks effectively. Hi there, welcome to Tree of Life, where we plant the seeds to help you grow. Ready? Then let's get into it. Delegating sounds easy, and people who are good at it make it look easy, but it takes a lot of trust, communication, and coordination to do it well. However, if you master the art of delegation, your entire team will benefit. Before you start, you should take time to think and prepare some important topics. Understand that creating a delegation is a process that takes time. The fact that training someone else to perform a task can take longer than simply performing it yourself is a common obstacle to delegation. And while that may be true the first time you assign the task, eventually you won't need to be involved with it at all, which reduces the amount of time you need to devote to it. You will have recovered the time you spent on training once 8 weeks have passed after training someone else to perform the task for you, and you will now have an extra hour each week. You can use that extra hour to concentrate on more crucial tasks like strategy, coaching, or development, tasks that leaders are expected to perform. The next step to get ready for delegation is to identify the tasks that can be delegated. In general, it's more challenging to assign a task when it pertains to a subject that falls under your primary area of expertise. And not all jobs can be assigned to others. For instance, you should handle any personnel issues or performance evaluations. After all, selecting the best candidates and being aware of each employee's advantages and disadvantages will help you assign tasks more effectively and delegate accountability to the right team members. However, some daily tasks don't need your supervision. Is there a task that you consistently take on even though you know your colleague is better qualified to finish it? Would giving the project to another employee advance their professional interests? Delegate if someone else could complete the task more effectively or if you believe this is an opportunity to learn. While giving you time to concentrate on more strategic projects, this will demonstrate to your team that you value and trust them. After deciding which tasks can be assigned to your subordinate, the next step is to specify the desired result. Delegating isn't just throwing work on someone else's plate. The projects you transfer to others should be in the right context and have a direct link to the organization's objectives. Professor Kevin Scherer of Harvard Business School says in the Online Management Essentials course, you've got to have real clarity of objective. This includes agreement on the technique of measuring accomplishment, what does good look like, and by what timeline. Everyone involved in a project should have a clear understanding of the objectives, deadlines, and success criteria before they begin working on it. The final step in your delegation preparation is to choose the best candidate for the job. Understanding the strengths, weaknesses, and preferences of your team members is a key component of being a good leader. Don't give a task that needs a lot of cooperation to someone who strongly prefers working alone, if the task needs to be delegated. Give it to someone who enjoys working with others. If you have a list of tasks you want to assign, you might want to think about sitting down with your team, going through the list, and letting people choose the ones they're most interested in assuming responsibility for. Another strategy for fostering engagement and establishing trust with your workforce is to let them choose the tasks they're responsible for. If you watched this far, go ahead and click that like button for us to let us know that you're enjoying the video. Great, now let's move on to the next stage of delegation, which is implementation. Implementation of delegation could be challenging if you don't use to communicate clearly with your team. For the delegated task to go smoothly, you should open a line of communication so that they can ask questions and report back on their progress. Without micromanaging, a good delegator provides essential information details like the deadline for each task. In The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, author Stephen Covey advises that you delegate results rather than methods. Say something like, "Here's what we're doing. What we're after is this," instead of saying, "Follow up on those leads. I want you to close the deal," Covey claims. Inform employees of your objectives or the milestones you hope to reach, then let them approach the issue in their way. Never strive for perfection or micromanage others because they might carry out a task in a different way than you. It doesn't matter as long as you find what you're looking for. Except some tasks have to be executed in a very specific way, but then you should communicate this very clearly and also why it is crucial to do it in the exact specified steps. Often missed, but important for a good delegation culture, assign the task and the responsibility for the result. You've probably been in a situation where you were tasked with something but didn't feel fully empowered to make decisions. As a result, the task takes longer from both the manager and the employee, the work stalls, and you end up needing assistance. According to Martin Zwilling, founder and CEO of Startup Professionals, managers who fail to delegate responsibility, in addition to specific tasks, eventually find themselves reporting to their subordinates and doing some of the work rather than vice versa. Encourage a climate and culture where employees feel empowered to make choices, ask questions, and take the necessary actions to finish the job. Also take into account that some employees have learned that if they show that they're not good at executing the tasks, they get rid of recurring delegations. It is on you to perceive if the tasks don't match their capabilities, or they need more information and support, or they only want to get rid of them. Last but not least, establish a review routine for delegated tasks and the delegation process. Every step of the delegation process should be reviewed, especially when you're first starting to establish a routine for the delegation with your team. You should give your employees feedback after the tasks you've delegated are finished, in addition to keeping an eye on the progress of the tasks you've assigned. Don't be afraid to offer constructive criticism if a task wasn't completed as required. The next time a similar task is assigned, your employees can use this feedback as inspiration and make adjustments. On the other hand, keep in mind to offer compliments and express gratitude when a task is completed well. You should also ask your team for any feedback they have to ensure that you're delegating effectively. Ask your staff if you gave them clear instructions, and see if there's anything you can change to delegate more effectively in the future. Be aware that, especially in the beginning, this can cost more time and energy than executing the task by yourself. But also resist the temptation to micromanage delegated tasks longer than the first few times you delegated them. I also have a bonus tip for you since you've stayed tuned with us this far. Look for a successful role model. It is easier to learn how to delegate effectively if you follow a role model. In this manner, you could develop your delegation skills faster. Because delegation requires practice and patience, it is not an easy skill to master. However, you'll be more successful in your role as a manager the more adept you become at matching the appropriate individuals with the appropriate tasks and responsibilities. We hope you learned something today. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe, and tell us how this video brings value to you in the comments down below. Or suggest a topic that you'd like us to talk about in our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.